Welcome to today's SIG talk for quality and testing section, where we focus on LeanFT. We're going to talk about how to combine existing Selenium with UFT and LeanFT and how to enable intelligent automation. Today is, again, brought to you through the SIG Talk channel of Vivid, and we'll be able to ask questions throughout the session, or you can tweet using hashtag VividSigTalk. We have some future topics coming up where you can check out on our Vivid SIG Talk section of the website and see upcoming sessions. And if you're ever interested in being a speaker or to be involved in one of the sessions, please answer our survey, and these slides will be available afterwards for individuals to get that survey link. I am your moderator and host today. My name is Chris Trimper. I'm an automation architect for Independent Health. I've been doing quality assurance for over 10 years, focusing on test automation for about 8 of those. And I am currently on the Vivid Board of Directors as the Education Chair. So I'd like to introduce you to today's speakers. First, we have Daniel Horn from Profi.com. He has 5 years experience in test automation, specifically working with a variety of DAX and listed companies. He enjoys a challenge to transform classical structures into faster agile delivery models, and who wouldn't? And recently, Profi has been awarded the Vivid Partner of the Year, where Jan Eriksson received the award in the Open Horizons session in Berlin. We're also joined by Jonathan Bright. He has 15 years of automation experience using the HPE, now Micro Focus toolset in a variety of global organizations. He is a co-author of 2 award-winning and best-selling books, Experience of Test Automation and Advanced UFT for Engineers Codebook. His research includes testing as service models, digital engineering, DevOps, and lifecycle virtualization. He's been the winner of the HP Enterprise Innovation Award for World-Class Delivery in Prague and Innovation for Quality in Dublin 2014. So we're pleased to have Jonathan join us today as well. Some quick housekeeping. This is a live session. It is being recorded for all members to watch, so you can check it out later. And you can even share it with your colleagues afterwards. At the end, we're going to have some Q&A. So there's a questions pane, and you'll see that in the next slide, where you can ask your questions, and we'll get to that towards the end. I will also follow up with a short survey. And again, just as a reminder, there's the question pane, sorry, where you can answer your questions. It's on the right side. And you can tweet your questions as well, if you prefer, using hashtag VividSigTalk. So I'd like to hand over to Daniel, where he's going to talk about combining Micro Focus LeanFT with your existing Selenium test automation. So thanks, Daniel, for joining us. We look forward to hearing your session.
Thanks, Chris, for having me today to have this really interesting topic presented to you and the audience. Just a short agenda from myself. So yeah, sure, I want to give an introduction and the motivation why to use LeanFT or Selenium in modern day developments and yeah, modern day software deliveries. Then I want to give a short conversation between LeanFT and Selenium, so you see where both tools are standing. And the main part will be to show you the utility of LeanFT that's called LeanFT for Selenium, so Micro Focus or HP at this time. Yeah, gave a little bit effort into utilizing LeanFT or utilizing your existing Selenium tests with LeanFT when you have LeanFT in-house. I will be ending with a few usage pattern how to use LeanFT for Selenium, so how to integrate this into your existing tests. I will be the speaker for this part of the talk. So my name is Daniel Horn. I'm, yeah, like Chris said, 5 years experience in test automation. Started with test automation based on mostly UFT, like I think many automation engineers were. And in the last, 2.5 years, 2.5 years, I more or less shifted into the DevOps, into the more agile methodology, and try to implement this mindset and this methodology into my customer that are normally and listed in the DAX stocks exchange. It's 30 biggest German companies. All right, so why do we want to use Selenium, or why do we want to use LeanFT? So yeah, the current market challenges are, I think you all know them. We have a huge competition in the market based on innovation and based on releases. We have faster releases. We have to come to the market faster and faster. Time in specific cases, I think Amazon was it with every 60 minutes or something like that, they release. And with this kind of challenges, you have to handle different, or you have to handle your test automation in a way different way than a few years back. The customer experience is way more direct to your development team, beginning with DevOps, beginning with the incidents will go directly into your backlog flow and so on. Also, going mobile and going into more devices, you have to scale. You have to run this in the cloud or you have to run your tests in the cloud on local PCs, mobile devices on cross platforms, so on Chrome, Firefox, Safari, in Android devices, in iOS devices, and so on. So this all results in earlier testing, way more testing than we were used to in the last years, and way faster results given back to the developers itself, or to the developers themselves, so they can run into a fixed cycle and fix their code right. So how can LeanFT help? LeanFT is Micro Focus tool. Maybe you know it's part of the Micro Focus unified functional testing family. So LeanFT itself, it often comes with your UFT package, and therefore in your UFT package, or with using now UFT, you can shift from your former SIT based test to the more technical test side, so shift left, or to the more business process test side, so shift right. And LeanFT itself is based on the shift left technologies and on the technical tests. So with LeanFT, you have way faster tests than with UFT. You have way more integrated tests into your development than with UFT. You normally don't need a test automation engineer as this role, but a developer can do this. On the other side, business process testing, Micro Focus business process testing framework, where you combine UFT with ALM. So LeanFT helps you in the way more agile and way more development-driven test cases. Key features for LeanFT. So why do we use LeanFT? So instead of UFT, like I said, LeanFT is integrated in several IDEs right now and development environments. So you can use LeanFT with IntelliJ, Eclipse, Visual Studio, and so on. So as developer, you don't have to change tools. You can stay in your normal space where you work, and you don't have to change your IDEs. You don't have to ramp up or start this the UFT itself. The creation of the test cases is based on established unit frameworks and runs in known environments. So yeah, your test cases itself, they are not LeanFT test cases as you might think from, I write my test cases in UFT, but they are normally JUnit or TestNG test cases and unit test cases that then are published to your development pipeline or to your developer near result viewers. And LeanFT, like Selenium, is a tool to give you the possibility to access application and technology. So it's a tool to basically give you the okay. Sorry. It is in comparison to UFT not based on Visual Basic Script anymore. So as automation engineer, I just struggled with using Visual Basic Script or VB Script because I know the short points of this language and I know the problems with this language. But your creation of the test cases is based on modern languages like C#, like Java. So it's way more nearer to the developers themselves. You can discuss with them in the same language. They can review your test cases without getting into new syntax probabilities or syntax problems they normally will get with Visual Basic. And it supports all major technologies for your application that you want to test. So you can test with LeanFT, you can test web applications, you can test Java applications, .NET based applications, SAP applications. And you can do this all out of your development IDE and don't have to shift or have to change any of the environments you are used to work in. Okay, so just a little bit of comparison between LeanFT and Selenium. Many things are equal here. So the programming languages, it is sure Selenium is on the market way longer than LeanFT. So there are libraries for Selenium that allow them to be put into Perl, PHP, Python, and the whole script-based languages. And in addition to, or based on that, the most development, as far as I have seen, just is done in Java or C#. So for enterprise development, I've so far have not seen any Python scripts or PHP scripts. Operating systems, they don't divide between LeanFT and Selenium. So you see, you can run LeanFT scripts on an Apple OS X or on a Linux environment that you basically can't do with UFT. UFT is an Windows-based application, and therefore you have to run this on Windows host. But with LeanFT, you can run your tests on most of the thinkable environments you can that come to your mind. The unit frameworks are also more or less the same for both tools, but where they differ is the utilities. So you see in LeanFT is, you can see it as a little brother to UFT. So there are these tools like an object identification center, like a test recorder, where you can record your tests record and replay your tests in the specific language that you wanted to have, so Java or C#. And the object identification center is when you have known UFT, you know the object spy, that's the object spy for LeanFT, object identification center. And the utility that I want to speak today about is this LeanFT for Selenium. It's just enhance your Selenium scripts with a little bit of additional salt, and you get stable, and you will get stable and, in my opinion, more clear test cases than maybe in Selenium itself. The utilities for Selenium are equally good. So you have the Selenium IDE where you can run from your Firefox your record and replay mechanisms to get fast results and to get fast regression tests. But Selenium has this thing called Selenium Grid where you can parallelize your test cases on different machines and different environments. And that's something LeanFT unfortunately doesn't have. Also, where the main difference is and where why someone should consider to use LeanFT, or when you have UFT, you get this out of the box, is that for LeanFT, you have way more supported applications under test technologies. So you have web, you have mobile that you also have for Selenium, and you have .NET, you have SAP, Java, and mainframe applications. With Selenium tests, you just can basically just automate web integrations. As I just heard, is that also for LeanFT, since LeanFT 14.5, you have a LeanFT grid that is similar, mirroring your Selenium grid. So that's one point to add to these utilities. Okay. So what is this LeanFT for Selenium? LeanFT for Selenium extends the usage for the usage of Selenium by enhancing the functionalities and by this object identification center. So this enhancement of the functionalities is working in a way where you have way more localators to pick from to get your elements. So in Selenium, you have, I think, a handful, and the most powerful are CSS localator and XPath localators. And for Selenium, you get a few extra ones. So you can pick via visible text, you can pick via object type, or via attributes, and you can pick via regular expressions. That I think is not possible in Selenium so far. And the other point is you can combine different localators. So you don't have to just, for one element, just stick on your XPath localator, but can say, okay, this is my XPath plus this is the visible name, or this is one attribute I want this to have on the element itself. The Object Identification Center for Selenium is a little tool that allows you to spy objects in your web browser or in your started web browser. So it's a tool for identifying objects in the application directly from the IDE, or this is started from the IDE. You can select a combination of localators. I will show you a screenshot in a few seconds. And you can generate your code out of it. So you don't have to switch between Firebug to get your, between Firefox with Firebug to get your XPath or to get your CSS localators figured out. But you can do this out of your IDE and out of this utility functionality that LeanFT gives you here. The whole functionality LeanFT for Selenium is available since LeanFT 14.0. So I think it's 1.5 years or something like that. Quite new. Okay, so the Object Identification Center. This is basically the picture or screenshot of the Object Identification Center, and you can do different things here. So you can start your Selenium browser. Yeah, Selenium still runs on its own browser clients or browser drivers. So you have to start a Selenium browser out of this Object Identification Center, and you can do this by clicking this button. And then via clicking on this spy head, you can start spying on the objects. And as soon as you have an object identified and clicked on, like in UFT object spy, you get this sweet little drill down of your element and of your element XPath. So you see exactly where this element is in your XPath or in your XML structure, and you get on the right side different localators that you can pick from. So you see here CSS, XPath, index. I think this is more self-explanatory, but also some things like style, style localators, visible text, type, tag name, and you can select them via clicking on this bubble. When you click on the upper right, this tick on the left side, this highlights and validates if you have selected one unique element, and the button in the middle just copies your code to the clipboard, and you can copy it into your code. itself. So it's really basic, it's simple to use, and you can get your elements descriptions at least way faster, from my opinion, than with just continuously switching tools and continuously trying to figure out where my element is. This enhanced localator functionality that I talked about is you can chain elements to recreate the web structure like I did here with, you can say, okay, driver is your web driver, find element by chained, and then you can say, okay, each element in this list is one of the elements combined in another. So the first one is the top one, then in this has to be an element with tag name center, and under this has to be an element with ID, HP logo, and name empty. And you can combine multiple localators for one of these instances, or for even just for one of your elements. So with this by each method, you just can combine different localators. When that is, yeah, it's easy to use, and therefore it's just clicking in this object spy and getting this kind of code. So the object spy you've seen generated this code in Java. For the header. Okay, no. So patterns for using LeanFT is you can integrate it by simply installing LeanFT on your developer devices. So just install, enable your LeanFT add-in in the IDE from on your developer device, and just import these two libraries. So com HPE LeanFT Selenium by and by each into your page object that you use for the Selenium, or into your class, and you're ready to go. And with enabling LeanFT, you make your life easier by using this utility tools, so by using this object identification center. And yeah, if you have old Selenium code, this old Selenium code will still work. So also your old page objects will still work with this part of implementation. It's not taking away any functionality that you had so far. It's enhancing them, and it's adding some new functionality to get you as developer working more efficiently and working more, target focused and focused on your automation instead of getting elements identified. And as a tip, keep your old code and just integrate your LeanFT when you maintain the old code or develop new classes. So it makes no sense to just throw away all your Selenium tests. Just enhance it or add it step by step until you maybe have all figured out, or maybe you got or your project goes live. Okay, so yeah, this is basically all I can say for now for LeanFT for Selenium. I hope this was a short introduction and a short overview how to use this, and how easy it is to use and to integrate it in your current development. And therefore I like to hand over to Jonathan, who will be telling us something about augmented intelligence and LeanFT with AI.